Cassie, what training have you had in filmmaking?
None.
Good.
I was acting in LA for about 5 years, and so I moved out to LA when I was 18 and started just doing independent films, and basically everyone I met on set trained me to make Daddy I Do.
Okay.
So I met editors who taught me editing so I could edit Daddy I Do because we couldn't afford an editor. So yeah, I was just basically learning from being on set and seeing narratives, but I had no experience with documentaries whatsoever.
Maybe that's why this works. You didn't know you couldn't do it.
Like the bumblebee.
The bumblebee.
Talk about, Christina, you were talking about your family background and the Nancy Pelosi's daughter's perspective on movies. Will you talk about that?
Oh, yeah. So basically, this kind of goes into what Cassie was saying. We were raised that way, and we are very aware of the groups that are putting on these abstinence-only programs. And so really the only other documentary filmmaker right now who is exploring the evangelical movement is Nancy Pelosi's daughter, Alexandra. So she, and I don't know if any of you have seen her documentaries, but they're on HBO for the most part. And the thing that Cassie and I have always, even though they're interesting, what we've disliked was this kind of mentality of look at the crazies, which is completely unfair because this is a huge, large group of people to completely just dismiss them as being crazy. And for us, growing up in the evangelical community, we know what the thought process is. We know what the feelings behind it, the guilt or fear or just any of that. So it was really important, I think, to Cassie to never alienate that group. And even while she was interviewing Denny, it was never, interrogating him. He just kind of said his piece, and I'm sure he said everything that he really believes. And that's all you can really do is just have them be open and share where they're coming from, and then hopefully create that dialogue between, across the row, so to speak, so that people actually talk about it rather than just point fingers and say, no, you're crazy, you're an idiot, no, you are. And it really doesn't get us anywhere, especially in sex education, because when neither side budges, it's, it creates, you're not moving forward, so. Has anyone here seen Jesus Camp documentary? Yeah. I love that film. But Rachel and Heidi, the filmmakers who made that, they had no experience being in an evangelical community. They're both raised with no religion. And then also Alexandra Pelosi, who made Friends of God, and what is it, like Travels with George W. or something. Oh. So so they're really the only other documentary filmmakers out there making films about the evangelical community. So I guess that's why we're a little different, because we've been there, done that kind of thing. So.
One of the things that we've tried to bring, One of the things we've tried to bring to Nevada is involving the clergy, because we think there is a role for clergy to talk about sex education. The Universalist Unitarians do a tremendous job. They have the best sex education program. We should put all of our kids through that. Because there is a place for that. And a lot of times we dismiss, public schools, it's, the government, and so religion has no place for it. But I think we need to start in a place where how do you match faith as part of the comprehensive sex education discussion.
Allison?
Yeah.
To that end, Doug Kirby, if I'm not mistaken, because I know Doug, because he's been very active with the National Campaign to Preventing Pregnancy. He is one of the experts as well on reaching out to the faith community, and I think there's probably even there's so much literature, there's so many great studies on the National Campaign to Preventing Pregnancy website, but I think Doug has actually done the author, or co-author at the very least, of a piece in that regard. And certainly when we did the task force in Nevada, we really did, way back when, starting in 1996, did outreach, believing of course that there's no one solution and no one path, But you know, you really need that part of the total community. And again, as I indicated in my remarks, just what is appropriate for certain communities, what will go over in certain communities as opposed to what will not.
Yeah, I think one of the big eye-openers for my mom and I when we were filming Matthew Paul Turner was when he said, if you bring a condom, you are premeditating sinning, basically, and that's worse. And we never ever thought about it like that. And so when we told that to Dr. Douglas Kirby, and he also kind of cocked his head and was like, here we are, like, having comprehensive sex education, or wanting to promote comprehensive sex education in schools. But even if they knew that having a condom would make you safe, it doesn't necessarily mean that they want to hold it on them, or even go to buy one or ask someone for it if they're planning on being abstinent. So that's a big battle. I'm not sure, Allison, if you've thought about it. I still don't know how to change that mindset. But
Man, if I had the answer to that, I'd be a gazillionaire.
Yeah, so it's a struggle because a lot of parents say, I want my kid to remain abstinent, so why in the world should I send them to school and you tell them what to do if they start having sex? So, and I don't know, I kind of equate it to teaching evolution and creationism in school, because you're giving all aspects. So you can teach in school, yes, you may remain abstinent, and a lot of religions and people believe in that. You don't even have to be religious to believe in that. So yes, that is your own choice, but if you choose to not, be smart about it. So, I don't know, that's still the battle to get out of school.
It is. That's why we do it.
Yes. So thank you for your work.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for the opportunity to have the discussion, because that's where we make change, is when we get more people to talk about it, instead of just a one-sided dialogue, or talking at each other or around each other. Again, if you've had an opportunity to fill out the evaluation, that would be fantastic to give them feedback. And we have our sex education petition. If you want to make sure Nevada's sex education is fair for all of our students and more comprehensive, sign up for that. We'll try and make that happen. And then tell them how they can get the film eventually one day.
We are planning self-distribution this fall, so by September, you should be able to purchase the DVD with at least 2 hours or more of special features of commentary and extended scenes and the interviews that didn't make the cut, and all very fascinating stuff for your roundtable discussions. So we will have that by September, October. We are still planning on doing a college tour this fall, so you can tell your friends or family across the country to look out for us at jbirdproductions.com. We will have all of our updates on screenings. We're still going to film festivals, so if you have a friend that may want to see it, just look on our website and maybe we're screening in your town. So. And there's a sheet outside by the concession stand, waitlist sheet, so feel free to put your name and email address, so that way we can email you when the DVD is available. And there will also be internet downloads as well, so if you just want a digital file, you can have that as well.
Are you guys going to take it to Sundance or one of the festivals?
We would love to take it to Sundance. Do you know anyone there?
Howard does.
Really?
We'll talk.
Please. Yes, we'd love to
Because
get
you need a
Sundance.
distributor.
It's wonderful.
What's that?
You need a distributor.
I know we do. I know. We are getting a lot of requests for college classroom versions, so like a 45-minute version that's PG, no swearing, cut down the frat boys a little bit, and make it classroom appropriate. So if you guys know any teachers or are a teacher and you want to ask me about that, find me after this.
Well, on that note, let's have an opportunity to go eat the last of the refreshments. I am not taking those home. We'll mingle. You can talk to Cassie and Christina and her mom and her grandparents too. Why not? So thank you all for coming. We appreciate you being here and look forward to having more dialogue on sex education with that.